the 6th of November, and right on cue, here come the New York Giants. It's week 9 around the NFL, and a look at the NFC East as 2 4-3 teams get together today. Everybody looking up at the Dallas Cowboys in the division at 6-1. Welcome to the booth. I'm Joe Buck, along with the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. If you think about the Eagles, they had so much within their grasp, and then they blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter last Sunday night in Dallas. And for the New York Giants, coming off a bye, I mean, this is a pretty evenly matched game between two teams that are trying to keep some kind of pace with the Cowboys.
Well, I would agree, and I think if you look at the Giants in the year that they have had up to this point, it's been somewhat surprising. I mean, the third year offensively in Ben McAdoo's offense, and yet a unit that was expected to carry this team has not been able to do that. They've had to rely more on the defense, and they've not been able to run the football, and that's been the biggest problem. No play action, no real deep shots down the field and connecting on big plays. And I think if you look at what happened during that bye week, Ben McAdoo and his staff, they've looked at some young players, and coming into this game, I think we're going to see some young guys that we haven't seen a lot of to try to inject a little bit of life into this offense.
Philadelphia could use the same shot of life into their own, looking for big plays with the Eagles as well. We get set for kickoff, come back, and let's do it. It's the Eagles and Giants, a fun matchup today on Fox.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise and remove your hats. Today, we'd like to pause for a moment of silence in memory of NYPD Sergeant Paul Tozzolo, who was fatally shot in the line of duty this weekend. Let's honor the memory of all those who have lost their lives protecting our communities and our country. Thank you. As part of the Giants and the NFL Salute to Service today, we welcome our season ticket holders who are veterans of the military, as well as active members of all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces, to unfurl our flag. The Joint Service Honor Guard is presenting our colors. Please remain standing and join 22-time Grammy Award winner and jazz virtuoso Chick Corea as he performs our national anthem, which will conclude with a flyover by the U.S. Navy F-18s. Chick Corea.
We get set for kickoff. When we come back on the other side, it's Manning and the Giants, Wentz and the Eagles. NFL Week 9.
Autumn in New York, it spells the thrill of first nighting. It's autumn in New York, it's good to live it again.
Autumn in New Jersey, too. It is 58 degrees here on the 6th of November. And a little postcard from us to you on NFL Week 9 as the Eagles won the toss, they deferred. So the Giants and Eli Manning will get the ball to begin the day. It will be Dwayne Harris, who's averaging just under 30 yards a return, ready to bring it back in what is a big game with two teams 4-3 going head to head here in the Meadowlands. We'll hear from Aaron Andrews after the kickoff, and we'll see Eli Manning after we hear from Aaron Andrews. It's just the way it's going today. Here we go. Harris will, yep, you knew it was coming. The old touchback. Let's go down to Aaron.
Welcome back, Joe, by the way. And Ben McAdoo saying during his bye week, did some soul searching, trying to figure out this rushing attack or lack thereof for the Giants, who rank dead last in the league. And while he says his O-line needs to do a better job blocking, running back Rashad Jennings saying it's on me, especially in games like this. I need to do a better job grinding out the ugly yards. It's as easy as that. He had a big game against the Eagles late last year, and as McAdoo says, this is his kind of game, a big back game.
How about that? Jennings on the quick handoff and a nice start. The Giants came up to the line of scrimmage out of the huddle, snapped it in a blink, and they caught the Eagles a little bit off balance. Jennings picks up 6.
Yeah, pretty good start. Get up there, get the ball snapped, catch the Eagles off guard, and they start that first down with a nice game.
Hey, Rocky. 118.
Rocky just shoving it in the face of the Philly fans. Here's one thrown and incomplete is the call. And Sterling Shepard, third down coming up. And the numbers for Eli Manning, the completion percentage is a career high number, but for a guy who has thrown 65 passes over the last 2 years combined, he's got only 8 touchdowns and not a good record in his career against this divisional rival. Third down and 4.
118. 118's ahead. 180. Right, set.
Manning floats it. Pass is incomplete. Sterling Shepard was the target with coverage from Jenkins. And after that initial 6-yard carry, it's a 3-and-out.
Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins, he's the one in coverage, and the Eagles rush 4 and do a nice job after the, as you said, the quick count on first down. They pick up a nice gain, 6 yards, and then force a 3-and-out.
So now the punt from Brad Wing with Sproles waiting deep for it. 2-time Pro Bowl returner. And that drives Darren right out of bounds. So now we'll see the Philadelphia offense, and Eagles fans are looking for more downfield. The completion percentage is big for Carson Wentz, the rookie out of North Dakota State. But it's been a lot of dink and dunk stuff around the line of scrimmage and not much stretching a defense. And the question is that because they don't have the threat on the outside? They can't block it up well enough. What is it? And we'll find out how they go after the Giants today.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything, but probably the biggest thing is that they just do not have a go-to wide receiver and somebody that can really get down the field and hurt a defense. And as a result, defenses started to play pretty tight on them.
Wentz, short throw pass is caught. This is Ertz, and they are desperate to get him more involved. Zach Ertz has been targeted now 21 times total, and that first completion good for 7.
Yeah, Zach Ertz, who missed some time with a rib injury, and he has just not become the threat that they were hoping that he would be. At the end of last season, he was Sam Bradford's, really his favorite target, and they've just not been able to develop the connection with he and Carson Wentz. And like you said, they want to get him more involved. Good start here in this game.
2nd down and 3. Pass is picked off. Landon Collins. And another interception for number 21.
Well, Jason Kelsey, he gets run over a little bit here after he snaps the ball, and that's the pressure that Carson Wentz feels in the middle that flushes him, and he just gets a ball that gets away from him. He's trying to come underneath. It's a high throw. Landon Collins now with another big play, and this guy's off to really a great second season midway through, and had an interception return for a touchdown against the Rams 2 weeks ago, and makes a big play to give this offense great field position.
Number 73 is report as an eligible receiver.
That's the voice of Bill Vinovich, who's our referee, as the Giants bring in Marshall Newhouse, and he's an eligible receiver, just an extra big body up front on first down. Eli steps through trouble, drops it off. Jennings brought down from behind and brought down quickly by Bo Allen. Meanwhile, you've got Landon Collins. You talked about the interception and then the 44-yard return for the touchdown against the Rams in London. And that led to him being the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and right out of the gate, he's got his third interception over the last 2 games. 2nd and 5. Quick throw, Beckham. Room to run. Beckham gone. Touchdown, Giants. .26-yarder and points off the turnover delivered by Collins.
Well, the play action brings these guys up, and then it creates a throwing lane for Eli Manning and Odell Beckham, who comes off the ball in an excellent release, but a poor angle by the free safety, McLeod, is what allows Beckham to go all the way for the touchdown.
So the Giants go 3 and out with their first possession, punt it. But then Wentz throws the interception to Landon Collins. Here's that part of it. And it leads to Beckham. His 4th touchdown of the season. 26 yards away. And the touchdown makes it 7-0 Giants.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Well, it took the Giants only 50 seconds to take advantage of the turnover. And it's the 29th career touchdown reception in 35 games for Odell Beckham. And once he got past the corner, Leotis McKelvin, Rodney McLeod whiffed. And it's 7-0 Giants. Coming off their bye week as the Eagles face their 3rd straight opponent coming off a bye. And their second drive will start at the 25, back to the touchdown.
Well, here's Rodney McLeod. He's the deep safety, and he's the guy who takes a poor angle once Beckham gets the release. An easy release off of McKelvin, as you said, but that should not have gone for a touchdown. But because of the angle and Odell Beckham, he's able to take it the distance, and this is an offense that has had their problems when they've gotten down to that end of the field. So to be able to come out on the second possession, a short field off of the interception, and capitalize with a touchdown, it's a great start for the Giants.
Well, now we'll see if the Eagles can respond, and we'll see if they can establish a ground game. Sproles again in the backfield. And Wentz keeps it. Not much. A gain of just 3, and Jason Pierre-Paul out there defensively for the Giants. Carson Wentz has been terrific, much better than they ever thought they would get for a guy who was supposed to basically redshirt his rookie year. But here he is, and after that great start, first 4 games, quarterback rating of over 103, 11 yards per completion. His quarterback rating down in the mid-70s over the last 3 and 8.8. Per completed pass. Toss, Matthews running right. And he gets stood up at the 30. 3rd down and 5 is Olivier Vernon is out there for the stop for the Giants. And there's Doug Peterson, who certainly owes a lot to Andy Reid. of his predecessors in this head coaching position for Philadelphia, with Chip Kelly in the middle. 3rd down and 5. Wentz hangs in, throws high, another pick, intercepted by Adams. He's forced out of bounds with his first NFL interception.
You're going to see what Carson Wentz sees is he's going to have a dig route come in behind it, and he's trying to stick the ball in there, and a high throw over the middle versus a middle deep safety. You're asking for trouble. And Andrew Adams, the rookie free agent, he's right there. An easy play for him, much like it was for Landon Collins on the previous possession. And for a team that has really based its success on protecting the football, this start here today resembles what happened a few weeks ago against the Minnesota Vikings.
Handoff is to Perkins. And Paul Perkins, who may get more of a look, the rookie from UCLA, 5th rounder, is good for a couple. Meanwhile, for this Giants defense, which is vastly improved from a year ago, when they were ranked last in the NFL, allowing 420 yards a game, they had 3 takeaways the first 6 games. Now they've got 6 over the last 2. 2nd and 8. Beckham started this play in the backfield. Here's Perkins. Well played up front by Philadelphia. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, came up to make the stop, and a loss of 2. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, that was well played because, like you said, they brought Odell Beckham into the backfield. They swung him out to the right. Little misdirection there and make you think that that's where they wanted to go with the ball. They come back to the left to Perkins, but Nigel Bradham, he's right there to make the play.
118.
Manning, end zone, pass caught, wide open, Roger Lewis, touchdown.
Well, good protection up front. Roger Lewis, one of those guys that McAdoo talked about getting into the game and seeing what they can do, and just poor secondary play again by the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what Jalen Watkins was doing back there at safety, but he jumped it, was not there to help out with McKelvin. Touchdown Giants.
30-yarder, and that's 14 points off turnovers. With less than 6 minutes gone in the game, and Eli Manning's got a 26-yard touchdown. Now a 30-yarder. Dismal start for Philly in the Meadowlands.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. Beer with your team on it.
Well, this has been an interesting start for the Philadelphia Eagles. 2 quick turnovers. You see what's happened in the first quarter. The first 7 games, second fewest points put up by the Giants. They've got 14 points put up in under 6 minutes off the clock. Drive to start at the 25 as Smallwood takes it out of the back end of the end zone. Odell Beckham says, Mr. Lewis, your 3rd NFL catch, your 2nd touchdown. And some questions to be answered on the other sideline.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King. And by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Well, it's been fun being in the city this weekend, and here in New Jersey with the ball at the 25, the Eagles have it for the 3rd time. Because of the turnovers, you see the difference with the average starting field position. 14-0 New York, but it's early. Fake toss, and now wide open is the tight end Burton. And he stepped out of bounds, but a good start to this drive. Let's go back and look at the touchdown to Roger Lewis.
Yeah, Jalen Watkins, he's right here at safety, and you're going to see you've got the corner playing zone soft. You got the safety. This is a route that should not be completed against that coverage, and it's Keystone Cops back there in the secondary between McKelvin and Watkins, and they get turned around, and it's an easy 6 points. But by coverage alone, that should not have happened.
Quick throw. Here's Burton again. After a 32-yarder, he's got another first down, and here come the Eagles. A gain of 12. Landon Collins on the stop, and the 2 interceptions, the 2 quick scores, nothing that a touchdown can't cure.
Well, how about Doug Peterson? You come out, you're thinking, okay, the young kid's thrown 2 interceptions. You're going to be conservative. He comes out, play action, gets him on the edge. A big pass to Burton. Comes back with another one, and now they're rolling.
Run. You see, run it. Run.
Blitz. Out to his left is Wentz, and he finds a receiver, Bryce Treggs. And that's his first NFL reception. More of a deep threat. He's got a lot of speed on the outside. He's got 11 here and a first down for Philly.
Yeah, they've been talking about Treggs and someone that they want to get more opportunities to. Take a look at some of these young players and see if they can't make some plays. But under pressure, Wentz makes a nice throw.
Here is a handoff to Sproles, who's on a pace for a career high in carries. He's 33 years old, 5'6", 190, gains 3, brought down by Kennard.
Well, he got a workload last week, as we know. 15 carries, 5 receptions, and that's a lot for him. 3rd most carries he's had in his career, and yet he's so effective. It's hard not to give him the ball. He's in the backfield again here, but he's a dynamic player.
Here he is out of the backfield, makes a catch, and a nice tackle by Collins to avoid a first down, a gain of 4. These are the words of Drew Brees, who had Darren Sproles down in New Orleans. He more than belongs, and no doubt about it. He is closing in on his 8th straight season with 500+ scrimmage yards. One of the best active streaks in the NFL. 3rd and 3. Delayed handoff. Sproles didn't get it. Although as the official on the far side runs in, pretty favorable spot. The near side headlinesman not as generous.
Yeah.
I don't know about that spot. I'm not saying that they're going to challenge it, but that was an awfully favorable spot by the official on the far side of the field, and his direct line to placing the ball down was interrupted. Sproles is shaking his head. I'll tell you, with that spot, he's close. And he got it. And the groans from the crowd. Philly made his caught a break there.
Quite a discrepancy, as you said, between those 2 officials. This is where they saw the spot.
And that little hit by Casillas is what stopped the forward progress, but Philadelphia gets it. By the way, Ben McAdoo has thrown the challenge flag only 1 time all year, and he doesn't throw it here. Here's one to the end zone, and incomplete for Dorial Green-Beckham. 2nd and 10. McAdoo in his first year as head coach. People were asking him during the bye week, are you going to give up the play calling duties? And that's not going to happen. Something that other coaches, including Bill Parcells, told him, do not give up play calling duties after you take over as head coach.
Mike McCarthy there with the Packers, he said the same thing.
2nd and 10. Wentz keeps it, and he's dragged down. Jason Pierre-Paul. And now it's 3rd down again. A loss of 5.
Jason Pierre-Paul, he plays it pretty well. Wentz is going to read that. It looks like he's going to take Sproles, and as he collapses, he pulls it, and yet Pierre-Paul is able to play both. He makes him think he's taking the runner. He comes off of him, and is able to get Wentz to the ground.
It goes down as a run, not a sack. 9th play of the drive. 3rd down and 15. Wentz backs out of trouble. Throws it away. And so if there was any sort of a mini controversy with the first down or no first down a moment ago, doesn't matter. It's 4th down now, and the field goal unit comes on for Philadelphia.
Well, Jason Pierre-Paul gets him into 3rd and long, and then good coverage all the way around. Nowhere for Wentz to go with the football. And I know 3rd and long is an area that Steve Spagnuolo's been a little bit disappointed in, but they make a key stop here after a really good drive by Philadelphia to force a field goal attempt.
34-yard try by Sturgis, who's now hit 18 straight. And the Eagles are on the board. Sturgis was on the ground. An 11-point game with under 6 to go in an eventful opening quarter. No flag for that, by the way. Well, there's the scoring drive for Philadelphia, now down by 11. We checked with Mike Pereira during the break. He thought that the officiating crew here missed a roughing the kicker call, which would have been an automatic first down for Philadelphia. When you saw Landon Collins jump, lost his balance, and then did a barrel roll into the legs of Caleb Sturgis, but no flag. And instead of the automatic first down and another chance at a touchdown, the 3 points stay on the scoreboard. Take another look.
Well, Landon Collins is right out here. You're going to see as he tries to come through, he splits the 2 blockers, and then he basically just loses his balance and slides right in. And yeah, no question that should have been called. And obviously a big penalty had it have been called to keep the drive alive, and who knows what might have happened.
Doug Peterson did question it with Bill Vinovich. Mike Pereira thinks the crew missed it. Now from the 25. Delayed handoff to Jennings. Covers up the football and is able to cross the 30, a gain of 6. Watkins on the tackle.
Well, they'll try to get this running game going. He's had a couple carries now, Rashad Jennings, and he's had some nice gains, and that's been the real problem for this offense. And no running game to speak of, and then that takes away some of the play action stuff, and it's all been on Eli Manning to move this team.
118. All right, set.
2nd and 4. Pass caught by Will Tye over the middle. Broke a couple of tackles and maybe 1 or 2 more, and a nice gain by Will Tye of 13 for a first down.
Good job of finishing the run there, and Eli Manning showing some patience in the pocket, trying to get the ball to Odell Beckham on a slant route. The Eagles covered up well. He comes inside to Tye, and he breaks some tackles for the first down.
Easy. Yeah, we got Brown PS. Brown PS.
Hand off Jennings. Jennings good for 3, and we send you to Carissa Thompson with a game break.
Thanks, Joe. Cowboys on the road down 3. Dak Prescott to Jason Witten for a 26-yard score. Jason Witten now tied with Shannon Sharp for 4th most touchdowns among tight ends. Dallas up 7-3. Joe?
Cowboys lost week 1 at home to the Giants, haven't lost since. Prescott still at quarterback, leading the East at 6-1, 2nd and 7. Manning, a screen, Jennings. And Jennings is ripped to the ground by Hicks. Jordan Hicks, the middle linebacker, made the stop. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
They got the man coverage for that screen pass, and then if you're able to block the guy responsible for the runner, in Jennings, you got a chance for a big play. Jordan Hicks, he's really had a nice year. Guy who missed half of last season with a pec injury, and he's done a good job there in the middle for this defense.
Eli's completed 6 straight. Manning, down he goes. A sack for this Philadelphia defense. And that's their 23rd of the season. It's Destiny Vio, the rookie, in a loss of 9.
Well, you're going to see Brandon Graham. He comes off the edge right in the face of Eli Manning. He's the one who disrupts him. And once he's able to get his hand on Eli, disrupt the timing of the pass, and then he gets help inside, and it's an excellent job. Brandon Graham, he's having himself a great year as he transitions back to the 4-3 defensive end. He's been outstanding all year long.
Former first-round pick out of Michigan. Playing great. End-over-end punt. And it is down by Dwayne Harris near the 20. 38-yard punt, nothing on the return. A stop for the Eagles defense. Philadelphia has it, down 11. Eagles fans are looking for somebody at the wide receiver position to step forward. You see where this group ranks individually with receiving yards in their NFL ranking this season. Wentz today, 5 completions, only 1 to a wide receiver, and it was Bryce Treggs. A couple of big throws to Trey Burton. Last time the Eagles had it, down by 11. Handoff is to Smallwood. And Wendell Smallwood, a nice gain on first down out to the 39-yard line. A carry of 19 yards, a career long.
Well, Stefan Wisniewski, he's filling in there at left guard, and he collapses that middle of the defensive front. Right there, number 61, and Jason Peters, he kicks out with a block of his own, opened up a huge lane there in the middle for this Giants defense.
Carson Wentz having to play catch up. A couple of interceptions. Here's one down the middle. Pass is caught. Ertz. And the Eagles with some big throws to the tight ends. 2 for Burton. This one to Ertz. Good for 30.
Well, the play action pass is what allows, you're going to see they're going to hit it because they see the play action, and then it helps open some things up. Now you're trying to find the tight end who's getting out to the sideline, and Wentz finds him. And so, yeah, you come into this game saying they want to try to get the ball to Ertz, get him more involved in the passing game, and they've been able to do that here in the early going.
Tight ends, 4 catches, 80 yards already between Ertz and Burton. From the 31, it's Sproles. And Sproles takes it just inside the 27-yard line, brought down by Robert Thomas. A carry of 5 yards. And so Carson Wentz, who opened his career with 134 pass attempts without an interception, is trying to bounce back from back-to-back interceptions early in this game. He's faced with 2nd and 5, under a minute to go, first quarter.
Well, the last possession and now this possession, it sure seems like he has settled down, and he's made some nice throws. Now this is another good drive, but they need to come away with more than just 3 points.
Wentz all alone and nearly picked. Matthews got behind the defense, and Andrew Adams almost had his 2nd of the game. Wentz had him and missed him.
He's sliding to his left, and he's trying to get enough on it to drive it into the hole. Yeah, I couldn't tell until we see it there whether or not Matthews actually had a chance to try to make that catch or not. But Adams, he's able to get enough on it, but it sure looked at the time that Wentz was throwing it, he had a wide open Matthews, but Adams reacts well and just gets enough of the ball.
On 3rd down and 5, that's Sproles. And for Philadelphia fans looking for Doug Peterson and Frank Reich to open it up, they're not going to be happy with that 3rd down and 5 call. And there's the tip just off the fingertips of Andrew Adams. And here on 4th down, Doug Peterson will have a chance to think about this. Right now, going for it Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, but the first quarter will come to an end. When we come back to start the second, we'll see the decision. Back after this from your local Fox station. You see what the Eagles are on fourth down. 5 for 5, but they went 4 for 4 over the first 2 weeks.
A little surprised by this decision by Doug Peterson that, on the road you get a chance to make it a one-possession game with a field goal. I'd settle for the 3 points, but he's electing to go for it and obviously confident. 5 for 5 on fourth down.
Here's Wentz. There's nothing out there, and Wentz is swallowed up. Jason Pierre-Paul, but he was not alone. And the Eagles turn it over on downs in a play that had no chance from the start.
No, this didn't fool anybody. They're thinking the fake here to Darren Sproles is going to draw the defense the other way, and they bring Wentz out to the left. But that play did not have a chance right from the start. They're trying to pull Peters out and some other linemen, but the Giants react beautifully to it, make a key stop, and Steve Spagnuolo's defense does a job.
Spags cut his teeth in the NFL with Philadelphia and the legendary Jim Johnson, longtime defensive coordinator for Andy Reid. Handoff is to Perkins. Good play. Fletcher Cox. Cox the one who made it, and Vinnie Curry was there to help out. A loss of 4. And now down on the field is Justin Pugh, who's playing brilliantly at left guard. They'll look at him and we'll step aside.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell's Rolled Chicken Tacos, by T-Mobile, switch to the network built for unlimited data, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here's the injury to Justin Pugh.
There in the middle. Got rolled up pretty good underneath, and you get a diagnosis on him, but does not look good.
He did walk off under his own power. Brett Jones takes over at left guard. Handoff is to Perkins, and he loses 2. Bo Allen in to make the stop. And here's Justin Pugh, who's really enjoyed playing on the inside, playing so well, and that's how he went to the sideline.
Talked to him on Friday in the production meetings. First time he's ever even been asked to be in a production meeting. Thought maybe he'd done something wrong, but you're right, he's been having a great year.
3rd down and 16. Here's Beckham, and that pass is incomplete. And now the Giants are in neutral.
Well, that's a great stop defensively, and that's, I guess, to go back to the decision by Doug Peterson to go for it there on 4th down. I thought the defense was doing some good things after giving up the 2 touchdowns, and yet, here it is 14-3. But this defensive front for the Eagles are really what dictate the success of that group, and that was an outstanding possession by that group up front, getting off the field.
Wing to punt it. Good one. Sproles back inside the 25 near the 20. The play of the defensive line. That's always been the calling card for Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for Doug Peterson. His guys playing better as they get the ball back. Look at the ball control, the total yards. As we are in the opening minutes of the second quarter in Philadelphia. Their defense playing better, gets the ball right back after they went for it on a 4th down and 2. So far it's been the tight ends, and specifically Zach Ertz and Trey Burton have had the bulk of the receiving yards from Carson Wentz.
It's been the tight ends, and it's been Darren Sproles, which is interesting to me. In talking with Doug Peterson, he said Ryan Matthews, even though just 4 carries last week, is still the workhorse, but just 1 carry here in this first half so far.
Play action. Wentz airs it out. Big arm. He's got the rookie in downfield. Treggs inside the 15. Bryce Treggs showing off his speed, 58 yards for a quick strike to get Philadelphia into the red zone.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Bryce Treggs, he just takes off. He runs deep to the post, and he runs right down the middle past Burhay. And Treggs is the fastest receiver on this Eagles offense. And in talking with Peterson, he said he's going to get some work. They needed somebody that could get down the field and give him a chance for a big play, and boy, he gives them one.
Here's Matthews trying the right side, and he's down inside the 10. Bryce Treggs' dad, Brian, played with the Seahawks in '92. And then Brian, Bryce's dad, coached Bryce in high school in California. He can fly. He was waived by San Francisco. And they're looking for receivers in San Francisco, by the way. And this little guy can scoot, 185 pounds, went to Cal. And good for a catch of 58. Now 2nd and 6. Here's Matthews bouncing it. Apple was slow to react. Touchdown, Philadelphia. The big strike to Bryce Treggs and the touchdown on the end of it. And the Eagles and their fans are happy to see something downfield to set up the score.
Well, everybody he bites. You see Eli Apple here, number 24, and Landon Collins, 21, and they both get sucked inside. And Landon Collins is expecting help from Eli Apple to keep Matthews from being able to get on the edge. Easy touchdown, Eagles.
Now Sturgis. And just like that, it's a 4-point game. A 70-yard touchdown drive in 93 seconds. The 58-yarder to the rookie Bryce Treggs set it up.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Longest catch this year by an Eagles wide receiver. It belongs to Bryce Treggs, the 58-yarder. And a 3-play 70-yard drive. Couple of runs by Ryan Matthews into the end zone. He went. It's a 4-point game. Harris would bring it out. And not make the 15-yard line. Knocked down at the 14 by Najee Good. The UFC's legendary New York debut begins on FS1 with the biggest prelims card in UFC history. UFC 205 prelims live from Madison Square Garden Saturday, only on FS1. Plus, don't miss a special UFC 205 preview coming up after the game right here on Fox. So now with Jason Pierre-Paul getting looked at on the sideline, the Giants offense goes to work up 4. Left guard Pugh still out. Pass is caught by Jarrell Adams. We go down for a report on Pugh. Here is Aaron.
Well, Pugh is doubtful to return, guys, with the knee injury. We saw him get rolled up on there, and big blow there, especially when Ben McAdoo's doing his soul searching on the offensive line and saying it's simply not playing good enough. Hope to get better news on him later.
First rounder from 2013 is Justin Pugh. 2nd down and 4.
118. What's that?
Manning incomplete for Beckham, and the pass is picked before it hit the turf. Rodney McLeod got to it, and they're calling this an interception. What a grab by McLeod off the hands of Beckham. And let's take another look as they will on the turnover. I don't think that stands.
The hands came apart. I think that's coming back. It's going to be Giants ball, but Eli Manning holds on to this one because he's waiting for Odell Beckham to kind of clear. There was a little congestion, and when you do that, then you bring some other people into play, as you see.
The previous play is under review. Timeout.
Sure looks like McLeod trapped it with his helmet on ball on the ground. We'll get the call when we come back.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed. The ball hit the ground. Pass is incomplete. The 3rd and 4 at the 25-yard line.
It'll be 3rd and 4 at the 20. Here is the trap by Rodney McLeod. Almost had his 4th.
Yeah, that was a heck of an effort on his part, and a play that this Eagles team could use, and something that they've been able to do throughout this season. An excellent job getting after the quarterback, creating some short fields with the takeaways, giving the ball to their offense. McLeod reacting and just not quite able to secure the ball going to the ground.
So now 3rd down. Giants 28th in the league and converting on 3rd down. Pass is caught. Shepard, 1st down. A catch in traffic, suffered a hit, and now a flag comes down at the end of the play. A 15-yard completion, but a late flag, and this is the 1st flag of the day.
Well, they bring it looked like McLeod, and then he gets caught up, and Eli Manning just able to slide up to avoid that, a free rusher, and so credit Eli Manning for buying the time, and Sterling Shepard, and then of course the hit.
And that could be what drew the flag.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 26. Helmet contact. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
You can see on the replay that was helmet to helmet by Jalen Watkins, 26, right there. So it's a 15-yard completion, 15-yard penalty, 30-yard pickup.
Yeah, whether it was helmet to helmet or shoulder to helmet, it was certainly the head and neck area, and that's what they deem as targeting. I think it was the right call.
And movement by Flowers.
Ball start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So we had no flags through the 1st quarter, and now we've gone back-to-back plays with penalties, and this is Eric Flowers. There was some speculation before the trade deadline, which passed during the week, that the Giants be in the market, try and pull off a trade for a left tackle, a guy like Joe Thomas, somebody to solidify the offensive line, and no trades of any significance happen around the NFL. Eagles thought to be in the market for a receiver. Pass downfield, what a catch! And a perfect throw to Victor Cruz. Out of bounds at the 10. "45 yards from Eli Manning, who's trying to get set up fast."
The perfect throw by Eli Manning. He lays it out there and just drops it right from the sky. You see Victor Cruz, he runs a slant and go, and McKelvin in coverage, and a beautifully thrown ball by Eli Manning for a big play.
They move the ball up to the 9, 46-yarder. That's a season long for Victor Cruz. 1st and goal. Pass batted into the air, and a flag on the coverage on Beckham.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. Spot foul. Automatic 1st down.
It's Nolan Carroll guilty of the pass interference. And they're going to place the ball at the 2.
I think that was the right call, too. Nolan Carroll, you see how he had him turned, had both arms on him. He's trying to come out of that break on the slant.
This Philadelphia defense is the number 4 defense in the red zone across the NFL. But backed up here. Here's Jennings. He is going to be knocked down short. Inside the 1, 2nd and goal.
Jennings trying to knife his way through there. Looks like his knee, he went to the ground. Sure enough, that might be a favorable spot as to where they put that.
Ball is inside the 1, 2nd and goal. Quick throw. Beckham has got his 2nd of the day. Touchdown Giants.
Well, Manning gets the ball. He throws it up quick. You have to when you're down this tight and you're throwing a fade route, and it really was not a ball to the pylon, the back corner. And so typically that's a play that a corner should be able to make a play on. McKelvin, he never gets turned around. He never even gets in position to make a play on the ball. Touchdown Giants.
And how about the numbers for Eli Manning? 10 for 14, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Eli's tired of hearing about his record against the Eagles. 9-16, 3-10 at home. And the Giants have taken advantage of the turnovers. And now this drive and the touchdown set up. The completion to Victor Cruz. And we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck along with Troy Aikman, and I think we're in for a shootout here today in week 9.
Yeah, I mean, between these two teams that certainly know each other well, and I think the thing that has been encouraging for both of these offenses is we have seen now some big plays, and they've set up touchdowns. The one there to Victor Cruz, we saw the one earlier with Carson Wentz, and typically that's what happens. It's a hard league when you're trying to grind things out, and both these teams now creating some big plays in the passing game, and they're putting some points on the board as a result.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. These are two teams coming in at 4-3, two teams that are looking for something offensively. The Giants looking for a ground game, ranked last in the NFL. The Eagles looking to get a little space offensively by going downfield, stretching the field after Carson Wentz has been completing passes, but not for much yardage.
Yeah, and this is a Giants team, let's remember, that has not had a lot of success against this Eagles team. But as you said, 2 4-3 teams, a big divisional game as to what this might mean as they move through the remainder of the year. And then, of course, keeping pace with the Cowboys.
Showed you the 46-yarder to Victor Cruz, and then after the play, limping around just a little bit, so he gets some attention over on the sideline for a guy who has rehabilitated after a severe knee injury. He was bothered by a bad calf last year, and so he's just hoping to stay healthy.
Yeah, you hope he's okay. I mean, he's one of the fun guys in this league, and I know Giants fans love seeing the salsa, and it's just great to have him out in the field this year making some plays, and he's been through a lot, and you hope that this is not another setback for him.
Let's see how Wentz tries to answer. Out to his right and shoved out of bounds by Olivier Vernon.
Yeah, that's a young quarterback there, just not playing very smart. You're outside the pocket. There's no point in taking a loss on first down when all you have to do is throw it.
Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, as you mentioned, when Victor Cruz came over to the sidelines, he was pointing to the outside of his right foot ankle area. It looks like trainers are just going to re-wrap it, guys. But I spoke to him before the game in terms of Ben McAdoo saying they're going to have to go easy here in the second half of the season. He hasn't played a regular season in 23 months. Victor is surprised with how well he's feeling so far this year.
We set up that last touchdown. Here's a delayed handoff to Sproles. And a nice gain on 2nd and 15 of 7 to make third down a little more realistic.
Yeah, and Aaron makes a great point. In fact, Ben McAdoo was saying just the other day that Victor Cruz and Sterling Shepard is as good as they've been. They've gotten too much work. He kind of wants to try to get some other players, to help take some of the pressure off of them. And Roger Lewis was one of those guys that he talked about, and then also even Dwayne Harris, who has been primarily a return guy, to help produce those snaps.
Third down and 8. Giants overloaded on the right side of their defense. Pass caught by Ertz, and he's brought down. Good play made by Burhay as the Giants welcome back Nat Burhay, who was inactive over the last 4 games with a concussion. And with the tackle, it's 4th down and 4.
And Ertz comes off the ball. He shows himself right away. Wentz not recognizing it as clearly as maybe what you would like. If he gets the ball to Ertz a little bit sooner, maybe he's able to make a play, turn up the field, and pick up the first down. But Giants, after coming away with a touchdown, a big stop.
Jones just got rid of it. Perkins came close to a block, and this punt will roll dead at the 22. And now to the 21. It's where the Giants will have it as they lead this divisional rivalry by 11. You look at the numbers for the 2 quarterbacks, and for Eli Manning, he's got 10 completions to 8 different receivers. Carson Wentz has had a couple of big chunk plays, including a 58-yarder to the rookie Bryce Treggs. But Manning playing extremely well coming off the bye and trying to get a divisional win. They're the only team to beat Dallas. That doesn't look all that great over there on the sideline with Victor Cruz limping as the offense for the Giants is back to work, up by 11. With Perkins in the backfield, he gets it on a swing pass from Eli Manning, and Kendricks is there to make the stop. Initial hit was by Jalen Mills, a gain of just 2.
Well, Paul Perkins is that guy that everyone's been real excited about, seeing him get an opportunity. And I know Ben McAdoo talked about how quarterback friendly he is. They've handed him the ball a few times during this first half. Hasn't had much success on the ground, but very versatile guy. As a young player, very good in pass protection as well. That's not typically the case for these young runners.
That's going to be 5 yards against the Giants.
Ball start. Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Official word on Victor Cruz sprained ankle. They do expect him back, but doesn't look all that terrific over on the sideline trying to get loose. Adams checks out. Roger Lewis comes into the huddle. Lewis, who has 3 NFL catches, 2 for touchdowns, is on the field on 2nd and 13.
Well, they sure like him as a guy who can win against man coverage whenever they're loading up against Odell Beckham. Already with a big play in this game.
Here's Shepard. 3rd down coming up for the Giants, and so's a game break from Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Joe. Dallas at Cleveland, 14-3. Cowboys under 2 minutes left in the second. Dak Prescott finds Cole Beasley, his #1 target. Dallas up 21-3. Joe, Troy, and Aaron.
The roll continues for old Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know when they come out and announce it, but at some point they're going to have to say Prescott's their guy, aren't they?
I would think. On 3rd down, Manning well protected. Flag is down. Pass is dropped by Lewis. But a flag at the start of the play.
Offside. Defense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's Brandon Graham.
They get Brandon Graham, and I'm guessing that Eli knew then that he had a free play. And if he didn't, he threw this ball up, and there was coverage. You know, there on the back end, Jalen Watkins was in a great position to not only make a play but make an interception. He completely misplays the ball.
Now 3rd down and 5. Pass, sideline, Lewis dropped. And then a hit by McLeod at the end of it. And Lewis let one get away that he should have had.
Yeah, you're fitting this ball in the hole between the corner, knowing the safety's coming over the top. You're going to take a hit. Eli knows he's got to stick it in there fast, but that's a ball that Lewis has to catch.
That is 3 giant drops in this first half. And And the punt from Wing. Good one. Sproles back inside the 20. Little room in front of him, and now a lot of room in front of him.
Look out.
Sproles to the sideline. And he's out of bounds at the 14. They're going to mark him out of bounds just inside the 15, and it was Keenan Robinson who saved a touchdown.
How about this special teams of the Philadelphia Eagles and the job that Dave Phipps does with this unit? It's an excellent job of blocking, and then you've got a dynamic guy like Darren Sproles taking it, and just enough there to get him on the boundary to save a touchdown. Since 2013, the Eagles have 4 punt returns for touchdowns, 4 kick returns for touchdowns, and 4 blocked punts for touchdowns. So anytime you're going against this group, that you see right there is where Sproles went out. You better be on your game in the return game if you're going to slow these guys down.
Well, Phipp has his crew returning kick, covering kicks, punts, whatever it is, extremely well. Fell victim to a fake punt against Dallas last Sunday night, but it's been a good year for his group. Pass incomplete, as the intended target was Green Beckham. That was a 66-yard return.
It was a bit of a surprise. There's Dave Phipps there, and a bit of a surprise against Dallas when Dallas was able to pull off the fake punt, because he does an excellent job as special teams coordinator. He's been named the special teams coach of the year, and every year it seems that this Eagles unit does an excellent job.
2nd and 10. Handoff is to Matthews. Nothing there. Casillas was in there, and Damon Harrison as well.
Well, Damon snacks Harrison. When you start running the ball in the middle, this is a big body, and trying to get him out of the way. He takes on blockers. He moves people, and he's the one who disrupted it. And then Jonathan Casillas is there to clean it up. Talked to Damon Harrison. I said, where do you find the joy in your job when you're taking on those big guys in the middle? And he says, when I know that guy across the line can't block me, that's when I have some fun. And we had some fun on that play.
3rd down and 10. Pass is to Green Beckham. Matthews rather, and Matthews is going to be forced out. Let's see where they mark him. About a yard short of a 1st down.
The same decision that Doug Peterson had earlier in this game. Same situation. You're down 11. A field goal cuts it to 8. He went for it then. They didn't make it, and it appears he's going for it once again.
So 2nd time Doug Peterson's going for it on 4th down. Sayamalu, a rookie offensive lineman, an extra big body up front for Wentz. He's in the backfield at fullback. Handoff to Sproles, and depends on the spot. Looks short. Harrison was in there, and that should be short. And another turnover on downs, as Doug Peterson has left 6 points out there. And he still trails by 11.
Well, there's movement right here in the backfield. You're going to see the job that is done by the Giants. Jonathan Hankins was the guy there in the middle who got the push this time. And when you're playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage in short yardage situations, you're not going to pick up 1st downs. And the Giants defense does the job.
Well, not only going for it on 4th down, but then the play calls on 4th down have left you scratching your head as they try to run Sproles up in there behind an extra offensive lineman, Isaac Sayamalu. Those are big points on the road that the Eagles don't pick up. Jennings is just swallowed up in the backfield. Play made by Fletcher Cox and Bo Allen.
Yeah, the Eagles, they got some of their own big guys there in the middle, and that number 91, he's as good as there is also in this league. And when he's on his game, there are not many guys in this league that can slow him down.
On second down, Will Tye, the tight end, left alone. And Tye out to the 14-yard line. He'll be short of a first down. Bradham on the tackle, a gain of 10. Third down and 2, coming up on 3 minutes left, and each side with all 3 timeouts remaining. And remember the play made. Save the touchdown on the punt return. Here is a handoff to Jennings. And we'll see where they mark him down. Bo Allen on the stop.
Yeah, Bo Allen, who's getting the start again this week because of Benny Logan.
And it's 4th down.
It's 4th down, but he pulled his Jonathan Hankins. He's able to get push of his own and not get moved out of the middle. And here's Bo Allen, number 94. He's got 2 guys trying to move him out. He holds his own, and then you got Watkins who comes in and takes care of it.
And that little extra hit at the end by Connor Barwin may have avoided any chance for the first down. Bill Vinovich has already said 4th down, and it is by, I don't know, 10 inches or so. And the Giants rushing in this game while they're looking for
On 4th down, determine the distance. 4th down.
Giants are looking for their ground game, coming in ranked last in the NFL. They've carried it 9 times for 11 yards. And watch Watkins there with a hand inside the face mask of Jennings. That not called. But opportunity here for the Eagles after all of this. The 2 early picks, the 2 quick touchdowns, going for it on 4th down twice and not picking it up.
Yeah, that's 6 points. It's been left off the board. Going for it on 4th downs.
Giants punt. Sproles will stay away. Takes the Giants bounce inside the 30. Here are the 2 4th down plays. Both times the Eagles were inside field goal range for a red hot kicker in Caleb Sturgis. This one, no chance. And then by less than a yard, Sproles carries it up into a pile of big bodies and comes up short. And if you give Sturgis the field goals, that's 6 points sitting out there that the Eagles don't grab. And now they trail by 11. 3 timeouts left. Starting this drive at their own 29.
Well, the Giants, when they had the ball there, they were not trying to conserve any time. I mean, they obviously have their timeouts. They were playing fast on the 3rd down. They got right up to the line, trying to get the ball snapped and pick it up. They failed to do so, but now plenty of time with over 2 minutes and 3 timeouts for the Eagles.
Sproles at the top. On 1st down, Wentz. He is going for the big target. Pass is caught by Matthews. And Jordan Matthews takes it inside the 40 to the 38, a gain of 33. And, well, if nothing else, Troy, these Eagles are able to get the ball downfield.
Well, they certainly are here today, and that's why we've seen them being able to come away with some points here in this first half.
2-minute warning in Jersey. Tonight, the MLS playoffs continue. The second leg of the conference semifinals as New York City FC looks for a comeback against Toronto FC. Then FC Dallas takes on the Seattle Sounders. It's all tonight on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
I'll clean that up a little bit, Joe, going to break, talking about them being able to come away with some points. They just have 10 points, but the big plays in this first half, there's 3 different receivers with 30-yard receptions. And then, of course, Treggs has the 50-yarder, and so they've gotten the ball down the field, certainly more than they have, here in the last few weeks. But once they've gotten down there, Doug Peterson has decided to go for it on 4th down, which has kept points off the board. But the big plays give them chances. It gives every offense a chance to score points.
They've been waiting for it. 2 minutes left. Plenty of time. 3 timeouts. Wentz keeps it. Slings it. Pass is caught. That's Matthews. Sets up another first down, and you saw the graphic. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Here's the 17-yarder.
Yeah, it looked strange to me when it happened. I wasn't sure why Matthews was jumping. It made it look like a lot tougher catch than it needed to be.
Here's one toward the end zone and overthrown as Matthews, who's been busy. 2nd and 10.
Well, this is a little different than what we saw last week from this Philadelphia Eagles offense. Just one completion last week. 14 yards was the longest one, and you know, like I said, today they've been able to drive the ball down the field against the Giants and help back them off a little bit. And it's hard to run the football against the Giants, if the Eagles have found out, just like every other team has. And the success you're going to have typically is going to have to come through the air.
On 2nd down, out to his right, end zone, and incomplete. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie covering Jordan Matthews, and the Eagles, who are averaging 208 passing yards per game, already see their rookie Carson Wentz at 216 for this game against the Giants.
Well, Spagnuolo has been very selective as to when he elects to bring pressure, really all year, and he does there on 2nd down, forces Wentz to get the ball out. 3rd down has been a problem for this Giants defense this season, but today they have been able to get off the field or at least make stops when the Eagles have elected to go for it on 4th.
Just got it away. Pass is incomplete and nearly picked. Green Beckham the target, and Janoris Jenkins was there in coverage, and the only one who had a shot at this throw from Wentz.
Yeah, the way Janoris Jenkins plays this, he was the intended target, and you know, he's another one of those guys that you spoke about that they went out and brought in the offseason, and Spagnuolo can't believe that they missed an opportunity. Janoris Jenkins has really played well for this Giants team.
40-yard try for Caleb Sturgis. That's blocked. Jenkins comes away with it. Now the ball comes out. That's a live ball, and let's see who gets it. Jason Pierre-Paul blocked it, but then on the return, Janoris Jenkins had it knocked out. Herzlich has it for the Giants, it appears. And now the special teams that we raved about for Dave Phipp sees a field goal blocked, and there's JPP.
The ball didn't have a chance. Jason Pierre-Paul comes right through the middle of that Eagles offensive front, and he didn't even really have to extend himself to get his hands on that kick.
Block kick. It was a backwards pass, not a fumble. Therefore, it can be advanced by someone else. Giants ball, 1st down at that spot.
So the Giants take over. Great field position. 3 timeouts and 1:07 left.
Oh, what a turn of events. You finally do attempt the field goal. 4th and long, and then it gets blocked. Not only does it get blocked, you don't come away with any points, but now you set the Giants up with all 3 timeouts and plenty of time to come away with some points for the end of the half.
Pass caught, will tie inside the 40. Got 9 yards on that first play. Here's the block. And now hurrying it up.
Special teams having a real impact here in this first half.
Manning bothered as he threw it, and a flag is thrown. And it's a hold against the Giants. This is a big call.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Beat 2nd down.
To right guard John Jerry.
Well, they got their hands full up front. Ben McAdoo knows it, trying to keep this defensive front. John Jerry gets caught holding Flexer Cox. A lot of pressure on this Eagles defensive front. We've seen what happens when Eli Manning has time in the pocket. They struggle on the outside to cover receivers, and if they don't get home, this Eagles secondary, as we've seen, they can be beat.
Second and 11 now after the holding. This one is batted down at the line. And after getting that 9-yard completion after the blocked field goal to set up 2nd and 1, it's 3rd and 11.
Connor Barwin, he gets his hand on this one, and Ben McAdoo talked about Barwin coming into the game, said he always plays great against us, and however he's been playing, he's going to play better on Sunday. It's just the way it works with him.
Manning pass caught, but short of a first down as Bradham made the stop on Jarrell Adams. And we'll see what the Giants want to do. It's 4th down.
They're kind of in that no man's land right here as Eli Manning's going to elect to call timeout. But yeah, Ben McAdoo, he's got a decision to make here at this position on the field.
Let's find out what's coming up on the Visa halftime. Here's Kurt.
Don't move. Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs, well, they're looking to put the freeze on the Jaguars. And Ben Roethlisberger hoping not to look stiff in his return. So sit still. Terry, Michael, Jimmy, Howie, and me are next on the Visa halftime.
Kurt's like some sort of a ventriloquist. Able to read that card without moving his mouth or anything in that studio. What'd you think of that? Freaky, huh?
Yeah, kind of freaky. I kind of liked it. It's like, I wonder what they charge for admission into the Wax Museum there on the Fox lot.
Rigor mortis set in. 4th and 3. 4th and 3. Manning has a man, but overshoots Beckham. Beckham got free, and Manning led him too far, and that is good work by this Philadelphia defense to keep it an 11-point game.
A little bit of a stutter move off the line. He beats the rookie Jalen Mills, and another one of those throws that we've seen Eli be able to hit when you drive the ball in the hole to beat the safety, and just out in front, and Beckham knew that he had a chance for a big play.
I'll say this about the Philadelphia defense. After Doug Peterson went for it on 2 4th downs, the Philadelphia defense came right back and got 2 3-and-outs. So they've stepped up. Now the Eagles have a little bit of time here, 19 seconds, 3 timeouts, if they want to take a bite out of this 11-point lead. Wentz has all day. With all of that, now only 10 seconds remain.
Yeah, that's the problem there is, you know, with time in the pocket, good coverage there by the Giants, and as he holds at times ticking away, and now even with the timeouts available to you, you're under the gun here. You got to get the ball out quick and get the ball down the field.
The Eagles will get the ball to start the second half. In this first half, 2 early interceptions, 2 4th down failures, a blocked field goal, and yet it's an 11-point game on the road for Philadelphia. Now 2nd and 10. Wentz, down he goes, Landon Collins. And that will end the half here at MetLife. A 21-10 game with the Giants on top in this matchup of 2 4 and 3 teams in the NFC East. Kurt, guys, it's all yours on the Visa halftime. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. There are the numbers at the half. For two teams that are trying to come in and establish their ground game, especially the Giants. 11 rush yards. Time of possession about even. 2 early turnovers, still the only turnovers in the game. Interceptions by Carson Wentz, and Robbie Gould says, hold on, boys. It's windy down there, and we'll see if somebody eventually has to hold it. The Eagles will get the ball. They've shown the ability to move it. Remember, Doug Peterson, the head coach, somebody's going to have to hold it. Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Eagles, said what they really loved about Wentz, not only his mind, his understanding of a pro-style offense, but the deep ball. And we've seen the deep ball be very effective when the Eagles have gone to it. Went for it twice on 4th down, inside field goal range in the first half. And came up empty both times. But still in it. Smallwood. Wendell showing off his speed out to the 30. Down we go to Aaron Andrews.
And Doug Peterson addressed going for it twice on those 4th downs with me. He said the first time he thought we had it. He said, I just wanted to set the tone, be very aggressive. Now he said for the second one, again, he said, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought we had it. I have confidence in my guys, and I wanted to stay aggressive. So I asked him, what's the key here in this second half? And he said, we have to just keep being aggressive, and we have to try to find a way to run the ball against the Giants defense. Hey guys, one note for the Giants offense. They are without Justin Pugh and Victor Cruz both today.
Yeah, Victor Cruz was getting x-rays last time we checked, and then they lose their terrific left guard in Justin Pugh. And now that we're talking about injuries, you see Perkins roll up the legs of Zach Ertz on that kick return.
Yeah, that doesn't look too good. And you know, one of the things there on that second 4th down, you know, they ran it with Darren Sproles. You know, and the big back is Ryan Matthews, who we've talked about not getting a lot of opportunities last week. Not too much this week. It was very telling in my opinion.
Here's Burton, the tight end. He had a couple of early catches, and he's got a first down here. So a good return by Smallwood out to the 30 and a 12-yard completion to Trey Burton.
Well, real emphasis coming into this game, just knowing that they needed to give these receivers an opportunity for some plays and make them go try to make some plays down the field for them. And you can tell that much better job this week.
Here's Matthews.
A week ago.
Matthews with a catch. He hops out of bounds at the 47, a gain of 5.
You know, so the Eagles come out, they're throwing the ball, and it's a nice luxury to have for Steve Spagnuolo when you've got these big physical interior defensive linemen in Damon Harrison and Jonathan Hankins, and knowing that teams are going to have a hard time running the football against you, and primarily you make them one-dimensional.
Good to see Ertz okay to continue. Delayed handoff, Sproles flagged down. And so is Sproles after a gain of just 2. So sticking with Sproles or not, the ground game not that impressive for the Philadelphia Eagles to this point. And I'm sure Matthews is frustrated. Last week had a swollen jaw because of a tooth issue. No such excuse here this week.
Offside. Defense number 24. Lined up in a neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
So you can see Bill Vinovich go over to the sticks and say, all right, we add 5 to this. The result is a first down inside Giants territory after Eli Apple lined up in the neutral zone.
Yeah, one of those young players who, you know, is kind of still getting his footing. He's had some injuries. He missed games with a hamstring, missed a game with a groin injury, and you know, battling through that and really kind of figuring out physically what's required to play in this league. But it was just a bit of a mental lapse lining up in the neutral zone.
Here's Sproles left side. Peters with a block. And Sproles with a nice carry. His best of the day as he gets 17 yards over the left side, and the Eagles impressive in this opening second half drive.
Well, give Jason Peters a credit here. He puts the block on Jason Pierre-Paul, which allows Darren Sproles then to get on the edge And of course, Jordan Matthews, he's blocking Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie down the field. Big game.
Now they try the right side. Makes a man miss. And Sproles, at the age of 33, went right around Keenan Robinson, picked up 5.
Well, Sproles has 7 carries in this game, 1 reception, 8 touches for the day, and bring Ryan Matthews back into the lineup. And like I said, you know, Sproles he's a great player, really dynamic player. You love having the ball in his hands, but he will wear down at that side.
Here's a pass caught for a first down. That's Aguilar, and Aguilar down inside the 5. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 3. And his first catch of the day is good for 23 yards to set up 1st and goal.
Well, not much to the route. He's just going to run a hitch route, but once he gets it, he's able to make Eli Apple miss. And then it's a foot race, and he's got some quickness to him. And he's the guy that they desperately need to start showing some consistency now in year 2.
First-round pick out of USC. Handoff is to Barner. And Barner spins to the goal line. Touchdown. What a drive by Philadelphia to start this second half, and they've made it a 1-score game. Kenyon Barner has got his 2nd of the year.
And Kenyon Barner, he shows some real quickness there behind the line of scrimmage, and how he was able to force that across the goal line is anybody's guess. He got held up right there, and he just keeps his legs going, and knee on the ground there. It sure looked, well, from that angle it's hard to tell, but it was close as to whether or not the ball had crossed when the knee went to the ground.
Well, it's a scoring play, so they'll look at it. Here's another look down the line. Knee is down now. No real look at it there.
I don't think they're going to get a good enough picture to really be able to determine. They'll try to piece it together as best they can, but it sure looks to me like this touchdown will stand.
We've seen nothing to say that they would overturn the call. Maybe this gives you a look. And they're calling the score good. 6-play drive covering 70 yards in just 2 minutes 43 seconds off the clock. Exactly what Philadelphia needed. And now it's a 4-point game. Carson Wentz, the rookie, takes him down the field. Aguilar, a big catch to set it up. Barner takes it in. 21-17 Giants, early second half.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents. Only at Burger King. And by Fiat.
From Manhattan to New Jersey. And it's Kenyon Barner, a 3-yard touchdown run. Carson Wentz perfect on the drive for 40. And it's a 1-score game at 21-17, and the Giants will start at their own 25. And we will welcome you from across the field inside our broadcast booth. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and this is a good game. In Philadelphia, they've left some points out there, but here they are down by 4.
Yeah, give them some credit, right? I mean, Carson Wentz comes out here to start this second half and makes some throws that get Sproles on the edge, but now the pressure's on Eli Manning, and I know Ben McAdoo wanted to be able to get the running game going here this afternoon. You talked about it coming out of the half, just 11 yards rushing. That was on 9 carries. So same old story for the Giants. Eli Manning's got to do it through the air.
They're trying to do it without their left guard, Justin Pugh. Play action. Manning. Jennings, near side. Well played by Philadelphia. Nigel Bradham, the first one there, but Jennings drew a crowd. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, Nigel Bradham, he's having himself a heck of a day. He's all over the place making tackles.
Bradham, free agent from Buffalo. Jim Schwartz at one point was the defensive coordinator for Doug Marrone and the Buffalo Bills. Handoff is to Jennings. Third down and a yard coming as Jennings gets 4. Fletcher Cox on the stop. This Philadelphia defense checked into this game at 8th best with regard to total yards allowed. And number 4 in scoring defense. A huge improvement from a year ago.
Well, they moved Odell Beckham to the opposite side of the field.
Handoff to Jennings for a first down.
Now they go to Rashad Jennings for the first down. 3rd and short, of course. You're anticipating running the ball, but the way that they moved Odell Beckham, they got him one-on-one on McKelvin. I thought maybe they would try to take a shot. As you see this Giants offense and what they've done here over the last 3 games.
Manning will tie, missed it.
Here the Eagles, they go back to, they bring in a whole nother group of defensive linemen to rush here on 2nd and long. And you know, it's like Ben McAdoo said in talking with him, and he says Jim Schwartz, he rotates that defensive front like it's a hockey line. They just brought in a new fresh group to rush Eli Manning.
On 2nd and 10. It's Jennings, and he goes right through that defensive line. Linebacker brings him down. Bradham, a gain of 6 to bring up 3rd and 4.
Well, that sure helps, you know, when you're looking at 2nd and 10 and you're able to run the football, something as we've talked about they've not been able to do often enough. But Rashad Jennings able to pick up 6 yards and make this a very manageable now 3rd and 4, which changes everything for Jim Schwartz and what he wants to do defensively.
Manning throws. He's got the tight end, and Adams has got a first down. Jarrell Adams, the 6th-round pick out of South Carolina, good for 10.
Yeah, well, Adams is one of those players, one of those young players that McAdoo talked about coming out of the bye and wanting to give them an opportunity, try to push these older guys, create some competition and give them a chance. They think Adams is going to be a solid player for them.
There's another young guy, Perkins, on the carry. And after converting on back-to-back 3rd down attempts, handoff to Perkins for just 1. Vinny Curry on the tackle.
Yeah, that's encouraging too, because this Giants offense has not been good on 3rd down. So not only are they continuing to keep this drive alive, but they're allowing their own defense to get a little bit of a break too. You can see right there that this drive is having an impact on this defensive front as Fletcher Cox breathing heavily.
Second and 9. Manning, quick setup and throw. Beckham for the first down. Beautiful throw and a well-timed play for 11 yards to Beckham.
Yeah, you got to stick it in there, and you got to beat the defender, the middle linebacker, Jordan Hicks, who's trying to get a hand on the ball. You got to beat him with it in order to create that completion, and Eli Manning threads it.
118.
That was the 3rd catch for Beckham. He has 2 touchdowns in the game as Perkins on first down picks up 3, brought down by Malcolm Jenkins.
I like what I'm seeing on this drive, that they have been able to create some balance, and they've not only gotten a lot of yards every time they've run it, but we've seen some successful runs, but they've maintained some balance in how they're calling the game here on this drive.
Second down, Manning steps up, Shepard all alone, but a flag on the play. Touchdown Giants. And we'll see what the call is. The flag in the secondary.
Sterling Shepard, he's in the slot. He's going to run a corner. There's the penalty on Malcolm Jenkins.
Holding. Defense number 27. Penalties decline. Result of the play. Touchdown.
Pretty crazy too, because Eli Manning, he has time in the pocket. He gets hit late, but Well, he's stepping up, and typically when you're holding the ball that long, it's going to be hard to be able to get something down the field. But once again, when they've been able to hold the ball and let their receivers get down the field, they put the defensive secondary in a real bind. If that defensive front doesn't get home, those guys get lost in the secondary, and Malcolm Jenkins just no match for Sterling Shepard going to the corner and 6 points.
That's the first touchdown since September for the rookie Sterling Shepard, and a nice answer by the Giants after the quick touchdown by Philadelphia. The Giants go down the field and score a 32-yarder to the rookie Shepard, and the rookie head coach is happy. Up 11. The 32-yarder for Sterling Shepard. That is the third long touchdown pass for Eli Manning in the game. He does have the 1-yarder to Beckham, but 26 yards the first one to Odell Beckham, and then 30-yarder to Roger Lewis. Now 32 yards from Eli Manning to Sterling Shepard. And in this divisional battle, the Giants back up 11. Smallwood. Wendell Smallwood returning kicks out to the 24. A happy moment for the Giants. The two wide receivers coming together, and a discussion on the other bench with the Eagles down 11.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
A little more than a year ago, they named that street Bergen Street. Sandy Grossman Way over in Newark, New Jersey. Sandy Grossman, longtime CBS director, and then at Fox with Bob Stenner and the great combination of Pat Summerall and John Madden. Nice tribute. Here's Aguilar, who has his second catch for maybe a gain of 1, and Keenan Robinson on the tackle, as now the Eagles find themselves back down by 11. 2nd and 9. Selleck comes in, Ertz comes out, Doug Peterson and Frank Reich trying to figure out what to call on 2nd and long. Handoff to Sproles, and a play by Jenkins off the edge. Janoris Jenkins came up to make the hit, no gain.
And Spagnuolo, he's mixing things up. He checked into coverage on 1st down, and they were able to make a stop. Janoris Jenkins hard off the edge and makes a play. And if you had to name a midseason defensive MVP, Janoris Jenkins certainly in that conversation.
3rd down and 9. Pass is incomplete, no flag. Dregs the target. Coverage by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
Well, they got one-on-one. Spagnuolo decides to bring the pressure, and they've got a shot. And they get to the post, you try to flatten him out and make Treggs kind of flatten that route off in order to create separation with the throw, but good coverage there, a lot of contact, a little bit of contact anyway, but Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie right in his hip pocket.
Wentz came off the field yelling, looking for a flag, didn't get it. Johnny Jones onto the field to punt. Chance for a return, not a very good punt. Harris made a couple miss and will be knocked down at the 40 by Chris Maragos. A return of 10 yards. Giants get it right back, leading by 11. In honor of Veterans Day, which is coming up on Friday, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. As Beckham makes the catch, and he picks up 10. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com. The flag flies. NFL.com/salute. And that flag comes in for what happened after the tackle. And Beckham was down on the ground, and we'll see who drew the foul.
Looks like someone still might be on the ground. Sure enough.
That's Beckham. You can see Brett Jones was calling for a trainer from the sideline, and there's the hit by Watkins, helmet to helmet. Beckham pops up, jogs off.
After the play was over, personal foul. Defense number 53. Unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And then this happened after the play, after the hit by Nigel Bradham.
Yeah, you don't know what's being said, but just looking at that from here, that's pointless. You know, obviously, once he has the ball in his hands, he's then a runner. So, you know, there's no protection on a defenseless receiver, and helmet to helmet is certainly fine. Nothing illegal about the play. But then Bradham comes in after the fact, and just a costly penalty. As you see Beckham now, and it looks like, you know, they're obviously going to be cautious with him, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
That's Lewis in motion. Handoff to Jennings, and what a play up front made by Graham. Brandon Graham, who has really benefited from the arrival of Jim Schwartz, who's so good coaching defensive linemen. Chris Wilson, his defensive line coach, and Graham's like a new guy.
He's almost unblockable on a lot of weekends. He had a huge game last Sunday night against the Cowboys, and you can just see the confidence that he's playing with this year, going back to his natural position. 4-3 defensive end, which is where he was drafted to play.
2nd and 15 after the loss of 5, and Manning throws on the move. Incomplete. It's an incomplete pass, as Adams did not secure the catch. 3rd and 15.
Rodney McLeod, he comes in, and it sure looked like it was a ball Adams should catch, but give McLeod credit. He comes in and is able to knock it loose for a big stop. Right now, a lot of pressure on this Eagles defense to not surrender any more points.
For now, the Giants have Beckham on their bench. 3rd and 15. We'll see who called the timeout. The Eagles are going to challenge, evidently. Can't see it on the near sideline. There's the challenge flag. I thought this was a good call initially. It didn't look like Adams ever secured the catch. But Peterson wants to make sure it's not a catch.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Let's take another look. We'll get the call when we come back. The challenge by the Eagles and Doug Peterson.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. 3rd down.
So that will cost, obviously, Philadelphia a timeout. No element of time. Yes, the catch was made. Yes, 2 feet were down. We checked with Mike Pereira. He likes the call initially. No reversal. And it's 3rd and 15.
Well, especially since that was a point of emphasis coming into this season on what is a catch and what isn't a catch. The element of time, certainly a big part in that evaluation. Didn't seem to me like Doug Peterson had much of a case to argue there. And in a game like this, that timeout could prove costly.
3rd down and 15. Third down and 20. Odell Beckham.
Ball start. Offense number 13. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
A little gamesmanship there by Jalen Mills. Got Odell Beckham to False start, back him up 5 yards.
From the 45 now, needing to get to the 25 for a first down. Manning, flag is down. Beckham in the end zone. Incomplete. Flag is thrown. It's a hold. And it appears against the Giants. See if they decline.
Holding. Offense number 74. Penalties decline. Result of the play. Fourth down.
They get Eric Flowers, so the penalties hurt. It marches, they march the Giants out of field goal range, and a good job by this Philadelphia defense on top of it. And here comes the punt. Here's the hold on Eric Flowers. And there's Brandon Graham again. So the punt by Wing with Sproles deep. See, Wings had a good day, but Sproles has one long one of 66. Sproles with a fair catch. Dwayne Harris screaming at him. And even with the contact, no flag. You know, in Gotham, the only way to get ahead in law enforcement is to hop a ride on the supervillain crazy train. And you can bet the last stop is full-on insanity. Don't miss an all-new Gotham tomorrow right here on Fox. Just off the top of my head. I don't know how I come up with this stuff. First down for Philadelphia as they trailed by 11.
Got through that with a straight face, too.
Supervillain crazy train, and you can bet the last stop, full-on insanity. There's the day for Carson Wentz. Starting at his own 12.
Well, more yards on 15 completions today than he had on 32 completions on Sunday night.
Hand off to Sproles. Not much. And not much from the guy who's supposed to be the big back in this offense, Ryan Matthews. Remember, they traded DeMarco Murray, who, by the way, is the last back to have a 100-yard game for the Eagles, and that happened last October.
Well, I've been watching Ryan Matthews on the sidelines, and he's back there in the vicinity of the offensive staff, but it doesn't look like there's any interest in putting him back out onto the field.
Second down and 8. Wentz protected, pass caught. Ertz first down, and Ertz has been a little bit more involved in this game as he gets 19 brought down by Adams.
Well, they run a drag route underneath shallow, and that helps clear out the underneath coverage and create a big window in the middle of the field for Zach Ertz.
Even though Carson Wentz came from a small school, North Dakota State, he won 2 championships there. And he did things in college that a guy like Jared Goff did not, like run a huddle and take snaps from under center and run a pro-style offense. Number 2 overall pick in a big divisional game. Here's Sproles, dropped it and was about to get popped by Trevin Wade. Second and 10.
Good time in the pocket for Carson Wentz, but I think Spagnuolo's called a pretty good game defensively and mixing some things up, and this time they played coverage. They had 2 deep safeties and not allowing Carson Wentz to try to get the ball down the field deep. There's not much there.
Second down and 10. Wentz underneath. Ertz another catch. And he's knocked down with a gain of 8.5. Trevin Wade on the stop. We have a new audience that just joined us early. It was 2 interceptions thrown by Carson Wentz, and Eli Manning in this offense took immediate advantage. 14 points off the interceptions. Beckham has a 2-touchdown day. Kenyon Barner popped one in from 3 yards away. to start the second half, but the Giants answered in what was an 11-point game at the half. It's an 11-point game now, and it's third down and a short 2. Here's Moore for Sproles, and he's got the first down and more. Almost broke it. Darren Sproles takes it to the Giants 48, a gain of 9.
Yeah, big third down there for the Eagles. Prior to that conversion, had only converted 1 all afternoon, and third and short, you have to be able to make it, keep this drive alive. The Giants defensively have struggled throughout the year getting off the field on third down. Eagles are able to pick it up.
Here's Sproles again. Kind of gets lost amongst all those big bodies as he picks up 3. Meanwhile, if you are just joining us, the Eagles in field goal range twice in the first half, went for it on fourth down, failed to convert, and left those points out there. Ryan Matthews watching from the sideline on 2nd and 7. Sproles again. Depends on the spot. Looks like he got enough, but we'll see. And they're going to give him a first down. Casillas on the tackle.
After the way Jason Pierre-Paul blocked the 1 field goal attempt that they tried after those 2, it makes you kind of wonder whether or not they would have come away with the 6 points. But I tell you what, they're not backing off from getting the ball to Darren Sproles.
Here he is again over the middle, and a nice tackle is made. Casillas, a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Saints and the Patriots, made the stop after a gain of 3. Carson Wentz, his day. The 2 interceptions early. He's been impressive since. Eli Manning, 4 touchdowns. And the Giants with those 14 points off the 2 early picks. Barner in the backfield now. Pass is caught, and a good grab by the tight end Ertz. And you know it certainly better than I. For a young quarterback, at times his best friend can be a good tight end. And Zach Ertz is definitely that as we are winding down the third quarter here.
Well, that's what's been so surprising as to how they've not gotten him more involved. Just 9 catches in the last 4 games. He has 5 here this afternoon.
We've got action left. Eagles on the move, third and short when we come back. After this from your local Fox station. This will be a big third down as we start the final 15 minutes. Philadelphia with the ball down by 11, and Ryan Matthews is back in there for the Eagles.
Well, they made the previous third and short, running the ball with Sproles, 3rd and 1 again. It gives you a lot of options as a play caller if you want to try to take a shot, or if you're just going to play it closer to the vest and run the ball.
Play action. Wentz throws. He's got Ertz. And he slides down with a first down at the 15-yard line. And a good throw on the move by Carson Wentz.
I like the call here. You're able to run play action, bootleg, get him out on the edge. It creates an opportunity for the quarterback. If nothing's there, he can keep it. But it also gives clean lanes to throw the football. And Ertz creates separation. And like you said, Wentz, who throws the ball extremely well on the move. And not just to his right, to his left as well, but he delivers a good ball there on 3rd and 1.
Eagles are 2 for 4 inside the red zone, cashing in touchdowns. Here they are at the 15 with a first down. Wentz protected again. Underneath, it's Matthews. Nothing there. Well played by Landon Collins.
Yeah, Landon Collins, he's all over the field today too, and he has been. He's been all over the field every week. Heck, he came into this game leading the team in sacks. Tells you what the problem has been with the pass rush when your safety's leading the team in sacks, and got 8 tackles here this afternoon.
Second and 10. Giants have 1 sack in this game. Matthews gets a yard. confronted with that stat. Ben McAdoo, the first-year head coach, said stats are for losers.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. McAdoo.
He'll take a defense that's much improved from a year ago, sacks or no sacks.
I'll tell you right now, this third down, third and long, Carson Wentz, he has to be smart with the football, and I'm interested to see what Peterson and Frank Reich, the play caller, they decide to do, because 3 points here is big. I mean, if you get 3, you cut it to a one-possession game. It looks like Spagnuolo may be dialing up some pressure.
Here's Ertz, what a catch. But he rolls down short of a first down. Inside the 10. And Peterson is still looking at his call sheet.
Well, that's a throw that if he's able to put it right on Ertz, in all likelihood, Ertz is able to catch it short of the first down, get up the field, and pick up the first down. And that is one thing that I have seen watching Wentz. He's not always real precise with where the ball is. And, you know, Doug Peterson, he's had enough of those fourth down calls, and this is the right one to make it a one-possession game with 12 minutes left in the game.
Last try was blocked. This try is perfect. And it's an 8-point game, 28-20. Here at MetLife, Giants on top, about to get the ball back.
Today's game is sponsored by Watch Dogs 2. Hack Everything. Available November 15th. Rated M for mature. And by Pfizer. Prevnar 13.
Federal Hall in Lower Manhattan as we play here in New Jersey. The Eagles are wondering what might have been. They're down by 8. They didn't attempt a field goal twice within range, went for it on fourth down, had a field goal blocked. The Giants up by 8 here. Will start at the 25 in an NFC East where every team is over 500, all 4. And 4 of the other 12 teams across the entire NFC are over 500. So this division, the class of the conference.
Yeah, and it's a big game for both of these teams. As we know, the Giants, don't forget, they beat the Cowboys already, and that's why last week's loss by the Eagles, a big loss that they seemingly had in control. They're in Dallas. Did not take advantage of that one.
Here's Paul Perkins, not much. Meanwhile, Dallas is on their way to a 7-1 start, winning big at Cleveland. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. 2nd and 9. Giants are averaging 1.6 yards per rush. Here's Perkins. And Perkins has got a first down out across the 40. A 15-yard catch and run by the rookie from UCLA.
Yeah, not a real big guy. He's just 5'10", but he packs a lot in a small frame. He's got some power. He finishes that run off well, and he was a little slow getting into things coming out of UCLA. You're not able to report right away because they're on the quarter system. It hurts those athletes out of the Pac-12. And Perkins, though, a guy who they really feel is going to be a great contributor in the games ahead. I don't know if it's Pac-12 or Pac-10. I know it's one of those things.
It's okay, you went there. You can say whatever you want. Here's Perkins on a toss to the 45 of Philadelphia. People have been asking for more action for Perkins, and he's good for 14.
Yeah, got off to a little bit of a slow start early in this game with some touches and not a lot to show for him, but with his last 2, he's done a good job. And like I said, for a young guy to be someone that they have the confidence in being able to do it all is impressive.
This one batted into the air at the line of scrimmage. Fletcher Cox got a hand on it. 2nd and 10.
Well, still a lot of time obviously in this game, 8-point lead, but when you get into these situations and you're the Giants and you can't run the ball better than they have, it makes it tough then to take time off the clock and methodically drive the football. So we've seen a lot of short passes, try to ball control it a little bit and move the chains.
Here's Beckham, nice pass, tight coverage. Eagles say they have the ball. And now the officials get together. Nolan Carroll was there defending, and we'll see if this is a takeaway, and it is. And the first of the day for the Eagles defensively. Right into the gut of Beckham. And then Carroll, as they go to the ground, rips it out. But it's a turnover, so they'll look at it. I would be shocked if they keep the ball.
Yeah, I would too. A heck of a play by Nolan Carroll, being able to just strip Beckham from it, but it sure seemed to me, Joe,
ruling on the field is New York receiver never had possession, and Philadelphia intercepted the pass. First down, Philadelphia.
That's interesting because it's a little bit different than a catch and a fumble.
No, you're right. That may be a hard one to overturn.
But they're saying Beckham never had possession. The ball never hit the ground. And at the moment, it's a pick for Carroll. We'll get the call when we come back. We'll get the call from Bill Vinovich. Really interesting the way he announced it. And we'll tell you why after the call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Had they ruled catch and fumble, Beckham would have been down by contact, but because they said he never had control of the pass, which I think is the proper call, it in essence is an interception by Nolan Carroll instead of ripping out the ball for a takeaway on a fumble. And I think they got this call right. By the way, so does Mike Pereira back in LA.
Yeah, we all do. And you know, hey, we all beat up on these officials when they don't get it right. And this was not an easy call to make, but they got it right. You know, hats off to them. And how about the play Nolan Carroll makes? I mean, that's pretty remarkable. You know, we've sat in those production meetings and seen Dornbos come in. You know, he's the local magician on this team. And I'll tell you what, old Nolan Carroll pulls off a magic act of his own.
Well, that's a big play in an 8-point game, and with over 10 minutes to go, the Eagles have it at their own 40. Wentz airs it out. The rookie, no flag, incomplete for Bryce Treggs.
Yeah, he had him too. He had a shot. It was a good call by Frank Reich. You get the sudden change of possession. And a lot of times you can catch a defense off guard. You take a shot down the field, and he was past Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Just Wentz unable to get the ball out there.
Now Jason Peters is down on a knee. 8-time Pro Bowl left tackle. And so Matt Tobin takes over at left tackle. Wendell Smallwood in the backfield. On second down, he gets it. And a nice hole for the rookie. Smallwood on 2nd and 10 gets 6, brought down by Devon Kennard.
Well, Smallwood, he's one of those guys a little bit like Paul Perkins, a dynamic player and young, and someone who's kind of learning on the job. Had a costly fumble last week against the Cowboys, which hurt them. He's got a bright future and a guy who can make some plays from that backfield position.
3rd down and 4. Blitz. Wentz keeps it. Won't get it. Knocked down by Adams.
Well, the New York Giants, they just read it all the way. They're trying to pull Ertz around to help with the blocking, the lead block for Carson Wentz, but you can see the Giants aren't fooled. Now, there's 4 guys there, and Ertz has to try to pick up all of them, and he doesn't get any. But they've tried now a couple times. We saw it on 4th down. It was a different play than we saw there. But they tried to get Wentz out on the edge on 4th down to no avail, and this didn't look much different.
Jones to punt. Good job by the Giants defense after the takeaway. And this one will be downed at the 4 by Nolan Carroll. He's been busy. Giants have it up 8.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Offensive leaders for the Giants. Big day for Eli Manning. 256 yards, 4 touchdowns. And one interception that just happened a moment ago on a ball ripped away by Nolan Carroll. Beckham with 2 touchdowns in this game, and this drive starts at the 4, up by 8. 4 men on the rush, and Ty is met immediately by Rodney McLeod. And a gain on the play of about an inch. Now they're going to mark it up at the 5. That was a terrific play by Rodney McLeod.
Yes, it was. And when you see Eli Manning in shotgun backed up like this, if he's going to throw it, you got to expect the ball to come out quick, and they did and made a play right away.
Hand off to Jennings, and Jennings picks up just a couple. We welcome in a new audience in this battle in the NFC East. The Giants led 14-0 less than 6 minutes into this game after 2 Carson Wentz interceptions led to 2 Giants touchdowns. But the Eagles have hung in there despite going for it twice on 4th down, not taking the field goal attempt, having 1 field goal blocked. It's an 8-point game.
Keep an eye on Brandon Graham if Eli's in the pocket back there holding the ball.
3rd down and 7. Manning in trouble. Throws incomplete for Shepard. Eli Manning had Shepard for a moment there, but missed him, and initially Troy was in some trouble.
Well, good push. You got Vinny Curry who's coming around the edge, and you know, he had a chance at Shepard, and he also had open grass out in front of him where he could have kept it. And you know, he's not a runner, but we've seen him break out inside the pocket, and it looked like he might have been able to pick up the 1st down with his feet.
The Eagles should end up with great field position after this punt by Wing. The dangerous Darren Sproles waiting. He's got a 66-yarder. Bad time for a shank. And it goes out of bounds on the Giants side of the 50. They're going to mark it at the 47.
There's never a good time for a shank.
Good point by you. 39-yarder, and the Eagles have it down 8. Well, Carson Wentz, welcome to the NFC East. A big road divisional game here against the Giants. They've been hanging around. They've got a chance. Down by 8 with plenty of time left. Over 7 minutes here in the 4th quarter.
Well, we saw after the turnover, the takeaway by Nolan Carroll, a shot down the field. I do not expect a shot here. Treggs, who has been the big play guy, the big speed guy, he is not on the field here on 1st down.
Nothing was there. Trying to set up a screen to the right side to Sproles. They're going to overtime. Vikings and Lions. Here's Carissa.
Yeah, they are, Joe. Under 30 seconds left, 13-9. Rhett Ellison scores now. The ball gets knocked out by Clover Quinn, but since he broke the play and it's ruled a touchdown, Detroit marches down the field. Matt Prater hits a 58-yard field goal. We are headed to overtime. Joe?
Wow, big game in the north. Minnesota trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss. 2nd and 10. Sproles, not much. And while the Giants have been looking for their ground game and certainly could have used it the last time they had it, starting from the 4-yard line, now the Eagles try to run it, and they're faced with 3rd and 9.
Well, I think the Eagles kind of tipped their hand on that 2nd down. They bring Ertz off the field. They put Selleck in at tight end, and he's been primarily a blocker, so you take one of your receiving threats off. You got to expect run. They play run. They stuff it. Now Ertz back on the field, and the Eagles faced with 3rd and long.
Third down and 9. Pass is dropped. Aguilar. Throw was low. He was open. And Nelson Aguilar could not haul it in.
Normally when we've seen Wentz moving to his left, he delivers a little better ball than that, but yet Aguilar, this is what he's paid to do. You got to make these plays, and he fails to come up with it.
How about this? Doug Peterson, for the third time in this game, is going to go for it. There's 6 minutes left in the game, and it's 4th and 9.
I don't agree with this one
at all. Let's see if it works. Wentz. Pass is caught. Matthews for a huge first down. They all look good when they work. Down to the 21-yard line. Now 1 for 3 on 4th down. 25-yarder on a gutsy call.
Well, they're able to get Matthews in behind the underneath coverage, and there's just nobody there. It was pretty easy for Carson Wentz and Jordan Matthews.
That is the 7th completion of 20 or more yards for this Philadelphia offense.
There was underneath coverage, Joe, and he bit up on the underneath route. You got to at least play back to the sticks. He was able just to bust in coverage.
Wentz now, far side. Aguilar. Ball's out. Aguilar gets back on top of it. It was knocked out by Rogers Cromartie. Aguilar, who's been having a tough time with drops and being frustrated by being asked about it. They hit right on the ball, and Aguilar able to get back on it. Here's the big 4th down completion to Matthews.
Yeah, right here, the underneath coverage that he doesn't continue to sink underneath it. It's Cody Sensabaugh, and by him kind of hanging tight, it allowed Matthews to be able to get in behind him to convert on 4th down.
Here's Matthews, nothing there. Well played by Keenan Robinson, and now 3rd and long again. 3rd and 9. The Eagles are in a position here where with 2 timeouts left, the 2-minute warning, if they don't convert, you got to think about taking the field goal and then take your chance about getting the ball back. But we've seen Doug Peterson push the pedal down all game.
Yeah, so you don't know if Wentz is thinking this is 2-down territory or not.
Giants back out of the blitz. Pass is high for Green Beckham.
Boy, they have a great opportunity for Green Beckham. It doesn't get better than this. He's got inside leverage. Janoris Jenkins on his back, and if you lead him to the middle and drive the ball low, heck, Beckham is 6'5", and he's not able to go up and make a play. Just a throw that gets away from Carson Wentz that would have been a touchdown.
Jason Pierre-Paul may have gotten a hand on that throw. Here's a 38-yard try. Sturgis having a great year, and it's a 5-point game. We'll take a quick break. 3:51 left, and a good battle in the NFC East. Here's that last throw in the direction of Green Beckham. Pierre-Paul, he just missed it, just barely tipped it. Either way, the throw was a bit high.
It was high, and maybe that, the hand coming in, and Jason Pierre-Paul's presence is what attributed to the high throw, but really a good route and a good play call with an opportunity to come up with exactly what you wanted. Nevertheless, just failed to capitalize.
Well, 3:51 left. 2 timeouts for Philadelphia. But a 5-point game. Harris a chance to return one. And he slides down just across the 10. Good on the stop, and a 14-yard return by Dwayne Harris. The final round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers kicks off when bitter rivals USA and Mexico face off. Will it be Dos a Cero again? Coverage begins Friday at 7 Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. There's a return by Harris.
And right now, Joe, we go into what I was talking about earlier. You're in your 4-minute offense. You want to just try to take time off the clock, pick up first downs, and run this thing all the way to 0. And yet they're averaging less than 2.5 yards a carry on the ground. So This is up to Eli Manning. Expect the ball to come out quick, high percentage passing when they do throw.
Here's a carry by Perkins. Picks up 8.
Pretty good start right there on first down, something that you really hadn't seen much of, but Perkins, he's able to get in the hole, doesn't do a lot of dancing, and then one-on-one, and he's got some moves. Look good.
Giants led by 14, roughly 5 minutes into the game. Led by 11 after the first quarter. And at the half, and after 3. Now it's a 5-point game.
Well, this is where that lost timeout, based on the challenge that Doug Peterson had earlier in the half, comes into play also.
Here's Perkins again, and he lunges ahead for a first down. Reminder, 2 big losses injury-wise for the Giants. They lost Victor Cruz to an ankle injury and Justin Pugh with a nasty-looking knee injury.
Right now, you're putting your faith in a young rookie running back, and he's answered the call on those first 2 carries. I can assure you that Eli Manning's telling him, make sure you hang on to the football. In these situations, they're going after it. Do not put it on the ground.
Play clock is at 5. Just get it away, and now Philadelphia will let the clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. No gain for Perkins. 2 minutes left. Excitement ahead. Giants with the ball up by 5.
Today's game is sponsored by KFC's new $10 chicken share, a bucket for 2. KFC is finger-licking good.
Doug Peterson opted to let the clock wind down to 2 minutes left. He has 2 timeouts. Could have taken one on the front side of it. He keeps his 2 for after, and it's all on this drive now. 2nd down and 10 for the Giants with the ball at their own 23. Here's Perkins. 3rd down coming up as Philadelphia takes their 2nd timeout. A gain of 6. 3rd down and 4. Well, Doug Peterson will be asked about 4th down attempts. 1 worked a moment ago. 2 in the first half did not. Inside field goal range. They went 0 for 2 on those 4th down tries. Then later in the half had a field goal attempt blocked. And as they trail by 5, this could be an entirely different game with different decisions. Easy to look back, and had they worked out, I'm sure people would applaud the aggressive nature of the first-year head coach. But right now, questions. And on the road, not taking the points, trying for the strike on 4th down. Now Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson just trying to get the ball back.
And what does Ben McAdoo want to do here? 3rd and 4. You put the ball in the veteran signal caller's hands and let him see if he can throw it for the first down. You keep it on the ground. They have had success running the football on this drive.
Jennings back in there for the Giants. The down of the game, it's tipped and picked. Intercepted. Hicks, his 2nd in as many weeks. We have a new audience joining us, and Jordan Hicks just came up with an interception, and it was Connor Barwin who got a hand on it. And what an athletic interception by the middle linebacker.
Well, what did I say? Ben McAdoo told us on Friday. Connor Barwin always comes up big against the New York Giants. They needed a play on 3rd down. He does once again. He gives them a chance. But Jordan Hicks who's had a heck of a season in the middle there. At middle linebacker, the reaction that he has to the football and then making a play with it in the air. That's an exceptional job on his part, giving the Eagles a chance to win this ball game.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have had some great comebacks in the Meadowlands. This would go on a list that Eagle fans are proud of. Now the ball sitting inside the 35 at the 34. First down. Pass is caught. Aguilar flags are down. The flag's thrown in the secondary.
I didn't like the concept there on the routes. Two guys basically in the same area of the field.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 20. Penalties decline, result of the play, first down.
That's against Janoris Jenkins.
You see, it looked like it was Aguilar and Ertz basically right in the same vicinity. That's not good spacing at all. It's not the way it's designed, but they get Janoris Jenkins with the penalty. Aguilar is able to make the play. And lots of time on this clock for the Eagles.
Wentz out to his right, throws it out of bounds. Talked about the comebacks and the miracles here at the Meadowlands for Philadelphia. Giants fans are tired of watching Herm Edwards take that one in. Here's Westbrook in 2003, and then Deshaun Jackson in 2010 when he got to the goal line, walked the tightrope, and eventually went in to win it for the Eagles. And now this high-priced defense, all those free agents added over the offseason, trying to save this game for the Giants. 2nd and 10. Wentz, the rookie, underneath, pass incomplete for Sproles. 3rd down and 10.
Well, they motion Sproles out of the backfield, so it puts Wentz in an empty set, and Spagnuolo decides he's coming after Wentz. And on 2nd down, he also brought the blitz. Excuse me, on 1st down, he also brought the blitz. Wentz didn't see it, forced him to get the ball out in a hurry. So on 1st and 2nd down, they bring extra people, and so far advantage Giants.
3rd down and 10.
They've shown this look in here and have backed out.
Now they're all coming. Wentz in trouble. Pass is nearly intercepted by Jason Pierre-Paul. And heavy pressure by Jonathan Casillas. 4th down.
Yeah, they run the blitz right in the middle, and they're able to get to Wentz. And Wentz is claiming, hands to the helmet and headgear, and we've seen them call a lot worse than that. With Carson Wentz, normally when we've seen anything around the quarterback's helmets, and I guess that's what happens when you're still a young up-and-comer in this league.
4th down and 10. Get the call. Bill Vinovich trying to get the
play clock was inadvertently reset. Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds.
So it was a play clock issue. It was just reading 20, now 10. 10's the magic number. 4th down and 10 if the Eagles want any chance of winning this game.
Well, I know you want to preserve your timeouts, but this obviously is the most important play in this game for the Eagles, and you don't want to rush it. There's 10 seconds on the play clock. They're going to have to get up there.
And I think you're right. You're going down the right path because Doug Peterson just used his last timeout. We'll give you a recap as best we can. 2 early interceptions thrown by Carson Wentz. Another one for Landon Collins. Led to the first touchdown for Odell Beckham Jr. 3 long touchdown throws by Eli Manning in a 4-touchdown game. But he's thrown 2 interceptions, the latest picked off by the young middle linebacker, Jordan Hicks. We'll give you the game summary as the game is hanging in the balance on this 4th and 10. Career high his rookie year, 364 yards, 2 early interceptions for Wentz. Eli Manning, 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And the Giants 14 early points off the 2 takeaways.
Yeah, and I've got to believe the Eagles are calling a play here and anticipating pressure. It's what Spagnuolo has called on all 3 downs on this drive. And will Spagnuolo dial it up again here on 4th? He's been successful on the first 3.
Keep talking about how the Eagles opted to not attempt the field goals on 4th downs in the first half. They left those points out there, and they're coming back to bite them right here, unless they convert.
You coming this way, Cal? All right.
Extra men on the rush to the end zone, incomplete for Jordan Matthews. And the Giants will hang on.
Well, Matthews is going to be on the inside, and then he goes. There's a lot of field out there to work with, and Wentz is just trying to give him an opportunity to the corner. It's just a tough angle. It's hard on the quarterback. You see the defender on the inside. You're trying to lay it to the outside, but yet the receiver is looking and expecting the ball to his inside shoulder. Makes for a tough angle. Now the Giants answer the call and make the key stop.
Doug Peterson was criticized after last Sunday night's game for not being more aggressive down the stretch, giving the Dallas Cowboys a chance, not going for it, not attempting a field goal late in that game, punting the ball only to see the Cowboys go down the field and tie it. Dallas won it in overtime. Well, he went the complete opposite way in this game on the road again in the division. Attempting 2 4th downs early, not converting, having a field goal blocked. Did go for a 4th down late in the game, but there's some points that the Eagles left out on the field, and the Giants will go to 5 and 3. Still 2 games behind the Cowboys, but remember, a head-to-head win for the Giants over Dallas week 1. The 2 rookie coaches come together. Ben McAdoo and Doug Peterson. The veteran and the rookie. Eli Manning and Carson Wentz. And for the Giants, their first win over the last 5 games against Philadelphia. And for Eli Manning, his 10th. Going against 16 losses. State Farm postgame show is coming up after the break. Giants win it. They're 5 and 3.